The Art of Subtraction. This means either removing things in your life that you hate or that are causing you no joy. Hi there, I'm Mindy Jensen.
And I'm Carl Jensen.
And this is the Mindy
and Carl
on Money podcast, where we talk about what happens after you reach financial independence.
Why do we call this show Mindy on Money?
Because Mindy knows everything sounds a little braggy.
But you think you know everything.
Yes, but I don't want to say it out loud.
Okay, that's good. Even though you just did.
I did.
Okay.
You made me say that.
I didn't make you do anything.
On this episode of the Mindy
and Carl
on Money podcast, Carl and I share some tips for the art of subtraction.
But before we get started, let's take a quick break. Today's episode is sponsored by MMMHQ. That's the co-working space that we co-own. MMM does not stand for Mindy, Mindy, Mindy. It stands for something else. Become a member or stop by for one of our events. Links in the show notes. What's so funny?
You're not even going to say what it stands for?
Yeah. Mr. Mindy Money. Money, Mindy, Money.
That's not what it stands for, you weirdo.
Mindy Mustache. I'm getting closer.
Wow, are you saying I have a mustache?
No, you don't.
Yeah, you better not say that.
Maybe you can tell the audience what MMM stands for.
The MMM stands for Mr. Money Mustache. Although I think you're onto something with the Mindy, Mindy, Mindy. So let's just change it. Today's episode is sponsored by the Mindy, Mindy, Mindy HQ co-working space. How about that? Do you think Pete would go for that?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, he did start it, so I guess we'll leave it as MMM means Mr. Money Mustache.
Okay. If you live in Longmont, you can become a member, and if you don't live in Longmont, you can stop by for one of our events. We'll put links in the show notes.
And now, on to the art of subtraction. So in our Facebook group, which is found at facebook.com/groups/MindyOnMoney, we recently had a post from one of our viewers. Should we name her?
Yeah, we could use first names. Let's do that.
Jolene shared what I learned from the FIRE community as I approach my 4-year quit anniversary. No, you don't have to know what you are retiring to. Sometimes you are so mentally overloaded while working, you don't have the energy to determine what you want your next phase of life to look like. It's okay to remove the pain by quitting and then sort it out. Before adding in new things, try subtracting stuff. Subtracting comes in waves. Spend some time trying out things you might enjoy. Hate or bored by your new activity? No problem. Failed hobby gear resells better than most other things you can buy. Don't have ideas? A library or a bookstore has aisles and aisles of ideas. I think Jolene was alluding to our bucket list comment from the last 2 episodes.
Okay. So that's a good point. I liked how she said you don't need to know what you're going to do, but you definitely know some of the stuff that you can remove from your life. Jolene, the main thing she removed was her job, right?
Yes, that's the first thing. The stress, and just removing the job is the beginning. There's the stress involved, the office politics that everybody loves to play, the commute, the getting dressed up, the whole have to be on all the time when you're at work. That's a great, big, huge weight off of your shoulders. And once that's gone, it's a lot easier to focus on things you might like to try or things that you have always wanted to do but never had the time.
Oof. Did you ever have to dress up for a job?
Oh, yeah. I worked for a fashion designer and I had to wear their clothes.
Really? At work?
Yeah.
Did they give you the clothes or you had to buy them?
No, they gave them to me.
Oh.
I was not paying $300 for a pair of pants.
Okay. So that's kind of cool, though, I guess. Did you like their clothes?
No. They were not built for my body type.
It would have been funny if you came in there with like a crappy old T-shirt from the thrift store. Like were you public facing?
Sometimes I was. So I worked in their main office, but every once in a while I would go in and fill in at their store on Oak Street in Chicago. That's where all the big name fashion designers have their boutiques.
Oh, I know that. I shop there all the time.
Yeah, I can tell.
You can tell. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm the pinnacle of fashion.
Yes, he is the pinnacle of fashion. Are you the before look?
What's the opposite of pinnacle? That's what I really am. So we're going to take a slight tangent here. I define my fashion style as Costco casual, which I think shows a high level of sophistication. It's not the fancy place where you worked at. They're not going to be on Oak Street in Chicago. I didn't get this look overnight. It took work. Like going to Costco and putting crap in my cart.
Yes. So is there a Costco formal?
I don't know. That's a good question. I
don't know the answer to that.
I don't think so. Probably not for guys, at least. They have some work pants, the khaki pants.
So your dress pants, though, aren't they?
They don't have ties or anything like that.
They don't.
I absolutely despise dressing up. We're about to go on a cruise, and do you remember the question I asked you like 2 days ago?
Yeah. Do I have to bring nice clothes?
And it was that, and the other question was, do they have a formal night? Because this is something I completely don't understand. And we're going to go off on a tangent, but this is going to be a rant. So brace yourself. If you've never been on a cruise, some of them have formal nights.
All of them have formal nights.
Okay, so this is what happens. You're on vacation, and the whole point of vacation for me is to be anti-work. I want to eat crap. I want to relax, I want to read books, and I don't want to dress up. But for some inexplicable reason, they have formal nights on a boat where people actually bring tuxedos or rent them from the boat and get dressed up to sit with each other and eat the same food they eat every other night. And they can just look at each other in the formal wear. Like, I see no appeal in that whatsoever. I know I don't have to go to that, but I would pay not to go to it if I had to go to it. What a horrible idea. Why do you want to get dressed up in a tuxedo on a boat? I could see maybe a little bit nicer. Like, I'm going to wear a shirt for you without any stains on it. And I'll probably
That's what I told the girls.
Yeah. I'll wear socks. I'll wear socks that day. That'll be good. I'll probably brush my teeth and maybe shave. It's going to be great. But beyond that, I don't want any part of it. Back to the art of subtracting. That's a great thing about not working. I can subtract all those stupid clothes from my wardrobe. Now I just have a bunch of like white shirts and black t-shirts and Costco clothes.
Okay, this is when the narrator comes in and says, Carl was a computer programmer when he worked, and he didn't really have a lot of fancy clothes. His uniform consisted of jeans, a t-shirt, and when it was cold outside, a long-sleeve t-shirt on top.
Wait, my first job, when I first got it, they're like, you have to wear a tie to work. I'm like, why? I sit in the cube. I don't talk to anyone, which is how I like it, by the way. And I'm not public-facing in any way, so super ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but that's their dress code, and you could just decide not to wear that. Did they relax that by the time?
Actually, like, they got rid of it like the week before I started.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
What a horrible, horrible thing. So in our life, we've talked about this many times. There was a point where frugality served us really well when we're young and can save up some money. Then that money has, like, I'll go back to when we're 30, around the time we met. We put money away that time. Hopefully we both live to be 80. That's 50 years that money could work for you, which is a long time, and that's incredible. So saving money when you're young like that has a lot of value. But when we're a little bit older now, and you're a little bit older than me, so you can relate to this even more, the money serves less value because we'll be dead sooner and there's not enough time for it to work. That was morbid.
Yeah, I wasn't the one who said it.
Yeah, but we still have a long, our best years are ahead of us, or that's what I tell myself at least. So back then it was great to optimize for money, but now it's a better idea to optimize for time.
And when you are 20, you most likely, 20 or 30, to use your example, you most likely have a lot more time than money. When you get older, if you have been saving and investing, you might have more money than time. Case in point, when we were 30, we had 0 children and we had a lot more time. Now that we are in our 50s, no need for specifics, okay. Mr. Throw me under the bus by telling everybody I'm older than you. We have 2 kids and they have demanding schedules. We are constantly ferrying them all over God's green earth, trying to get them to this thing and that thing. And finally, the older one can drive. But we have far more money than time. So we are choosing to buy back some time by taking some of those demands off of our plate. Okay.
So after our appearance on the Remeet podcast, we took a big look at our life and tried to figure out what we liked and what we didn't. And what we learned is post-FI, the money doesn't mean quite as much as the time. So now we're optimizing our life. And for us, that means getting our time back by using some of that money we saved when we were 30 and spending it now when we're a little bit older, and some of us even a little bit older.
Wow. Look at that couch over there. I hope you enjoy sleeping on it tonight.
With age comes wisdom. You're wiser than me.
Wow. That's not even a good save. All right. Now, if you're anything like us, spending money on something that you can do yourself or spending money on something that you may not initially find value in can feel like a waste. But what's the point of having money if you never use it? When we were younger, we absolutely optimized for money. We flew at 6 a.m. Our flights had stopovers. Younger, like a year ago younger. Flying at 6 a.m. causes us to sleep incredibly poorly because we are constantly worried that our 47 alarms are not going to go off. All of them are going to fail at the same time, which, by the way, has never happened in the history of us. But we get really bad sleep when we know we have to wake up super early. So we have bought back our time and our sleep by instituting travel rules. We will not fly on a flight that takes off before 10 a.m. from our local airport. And because we live an hour away and we park off-site, we will not arrive back at our airport after 7 o'clock. We will alter our entire vacation plans so that that doesn't happen. And those flights are more desirable than the 6 a.m. flights and the, arriving at 10:45 p.m. flights. So we're paying for this luxury, but we are getting it back by being able to sleep the entire night before the trip.
Cool. Let's talk about some things that we have subtracted in our lives that have enhanced it. And the first one, along the same lines, let's talk about travel. Does anyone out there go to 50 different websites and look at their credit cards and do all this different stuff to figure out the best travel hack? We used to do that all the time. I'd go to Google Flights and Southwest because it was not on Google Flights, although it is now. And I just look at all these options to try to find the best place and the best location for the best price. And even looking at credit cards like the points and their travel portals and all that. And now we do a little tiny bit of that, but it's so complex and it's ever changing. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy went on for like 20 minutes about you can do a round trip on this, but if you take their partner instead and fly at this time and do this and this, and it was just extremely tedious, and it wasn't saving much money. It was saving hundreds instead of thousands. And I value my time more than that. And I think this person really enjoys that. And if you do enjoy it, by all means, go for it. That's great. But that isn't how I prefer to spend my valuable time.
Yes, I might choose between a couple of different hotels that we have points for. We have 2 or 3 main hotel systems that we have credit cards for that we generate a lot of points for. So I might go and see which one's closest to the things that we want or which one is less expensive. But I'm not comparing 50 different things anymore. And if it costs me a little bit more, I'm okay with that. I don't have the mental headspace to figure out what is the absolute most best deal. But that's okay. It's also something that I don't enjoy.
Yes. I used to also look at which one had the waffle maker, but now I'm subtracting carbs from my diet, so I don't optimize for the waffle maker, although the free breakfast with other stuff is good.
Yes. I still get really annoyed when the hotel doesn't offer a free breakfast or free Wi-Fi. I'm not staying there if there's not free Wi-Fi.
No. Do any of them still do that? That's
unless the company. Yeah, some of the places that I go for conferences, they charge, and then my company pays for it, so I don't really have such a big issue with that.
Yeah, but it's weird. Like the fanciest hotels are the ones that charge for all that crap. I guess They know their audience and they know those people don't mind spending $10 a day for Wi-Fi or $30 for their stupid breakfast.
Exactly.
Another thing we've experimented with lately is not renting a car at all. And this ties back in a little bit to the hotel thing, because if we're going to a place like San Diego, for example, we want to stay in Mission Beach, which is very walkable. And once we get there, we don't really want to get in a car anyway. So why not just take a ride share? It may or may not be cheaper, but it saves you the hassle of having to take the shuttle bus to the rental thing and then stand in line for that. tell them 50 times how you don't want to buy any of their insurance. Then you got to bring the car back. And then once you get there, if you need to get around, you can just take another ride share to get wherever you want to go.
Yes. And you didn't even mention parking. It costs money to park at most hotels.
Yeah, true.
So.
Okay, but we're optimizing for our time, and that's just a side benefit. So in that case, it might actually be cheaper.
Another thing we used to optimize for was price with regards to where we were staying. And what I mean by that is we would stay farther away, using San Diego as an example. We would stay farther away from the beach to save money. But then we're walking to the beach or driving to the beach and then trying to find parking. And now we will optimize for location. And again, we might look at the two different hotel chains that we have points for and choose this one over that one because it's less expensive, but they're equal distant to the beach, which is the whole reason we're going to San Diego in the first place.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about layovers and how we no longer even consider layovers if it's an option?
Yeah, we do try to fly direct. And if we do have to have a layover, we try to stay on the same plane. But yeah, we've had some days where we've spent many, many hours in planes or in airports. And we had another situation where we flew on two different airlines, and then the first leg got canceled for unknown reasons. And then we almost missed the second one, which would have been disastrous for our trip.
Excuse me, you set that up. I'm going to throw you under the bus. You set that up on 3 different airlines. And the first leg canceled for, like, the whole airport shut down. We still don't know why, because it was beautiful sunny skies and whatever. So that cost us hours and hours of time driving across the state of Pennsylvania, which is a huge state, by the way. Thanks, Pennsylvania, to get from one airport to the other so we could then catch a flight to pick up the next leg of our trip. Then a year later, and this was an international flight, actually several countries. A year later, we were traveling again internationally, and I told Carl point blank, I want to leave our home airport of Denver and arrive at the end, I think it was someplace in Greece, on one reservation, and then round trip it all the way back on the same reservation. I don't want any of this monkey business where I don't care if it costs less money to fly Southwest to a different place and then hop across the pond a bunch of different times. One reservation. And that was a much more calm trip, except for that mad dash through O'Hare.
Yes, that was not good. If you could just make a lot of money, like if you could like 100x the money you get for doing your other podcast, and then you could get us a private jet, that would be kind of nice. I would appreciate that.
That would be really awesome. Yeah. So let me clarify. You're telling me that you don't have a job and you want me to increase my salary by 100 times.
Or maybe you could borrow the BP private jet. Do they have one?
I don't think there's a BP private jet.
Okay, well, this is something you should put in like your work comment box. Like BP should have a private jet and let Mindy fly on it, signed anonymous.
Oh, that's a really great. I hope they don't listen to this show.
Or a helicopter would be good too. They can get you places. But
can you take a helicopter across the Atlantic?
No, you cannot. But the helicopter could still save us for local trips.
I'm probably not going to do that, though.
Okay, let's talk about shopping. One thing we did when our life got super busy is we signed up for one of those meal planning services. I don't know if it was HelloFresh or
I know which one it was. It was HelloFresh, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due because HelloFresh makes a really delicious meal. Actually, I made the really delicious meal from HelloFresh. So HelloFresh works like this. You go on their website and you choose, I think it was 5 meals or 4 meals or something, whatever. You choose however many meals you are going to get from like 20 or 30 different options. And then they send you all the ingredients and the recipe card, and you chop up the thing, you follow the recipe, and in about 30 minutes, you have a delicious dinner. We optimized those meals for healthy options and vegetarian options because we have a kid who's a vegetarian. But we also had to go through and see which ingredients they would and wouldn't eat. Daphne won't eat peppers.
And what I was going to say about this service is we did it for convenience. We did it because we were so busy and working on all these home projects. But what I found is we discovered a bunch of like new great recipes and things we enjoy from it. So that had an unintended benefit, which was great.
Yes, and it wasn't that much more expensive than just going to the grocery store and buying ingredients and trying to come up with something your own self. So if you're considering trying a meal kit, I would definitely recommend HelloFresh. They had some really great options, and we still make some of those. Another thing that I did, I decided I did not want to wear the crappy old t-shirt and jeans that I have been wearing my whole life. So I wanted to dress a little bit better, and I signed up for Stitch Fix because I don't really have time to go shopping. I don't seem to be able to find things that fit on the rack, but Stitch Fix talks a good game, and I have a lot of friends who have used them too, and I thought, what the heck, I'll try it out, because you can return everything, and it doesn't cost you anything if it doesn't work out. So I signed up, I got my first box, and they sent me a pair of jeans that fit. Now, anybody listening, especially you ladies, you know that finding a pair of jeans that fit is like the holy grail. And this, I was so shocked that the first box they sent me, I found a pair of jeans. I ended up getting 6 boxes maybe from Stitch Fix, and I was able to update much of my wardrobe, and I feel great about the way that I look when I wear these clothes. So when I need something in the future, I can go into my account, even though I've put the shipments on hold, I can go into my account and say, hey, I'm looking for a pair of jeans, and they'll show me a few different types, send them to me, I can try them on. If they don't fit, I can send them back. If they fit, I keep them, and they charge my credit card.
And I do the same thing only with Costco Fix. I go there, put some shirts in my shopping cart, some pants, go home, try them on. If they don't fit, they go back. That's it. So.
Yep. But this way is even less time intensive because they know my sizes and they send all this stuff to me. I just walk to the front door, open up the box, try it all on, which you have to do anyway. And then, okay, yes, yes, no, throw the nose back in the bag that they send with you and ship it on back.
And to be clear, this show is not sponsored by Stitch Fix, Costco, or HelloFresh.
But you could, either of those, any of those companies can sponsor us if they'd like. Email Mindy at mindyonmoney.com.
Let's talk about some ways we have optimized our day-to-day life through subtraction.
Okay, so one of the biggest things, and I know we've mentioned this many times before, we'll continue to mention it. We subtracted cleaning from our life. Every 2 weeks, our cleaning woman comes over and makes the house look amazing. And that's not to say that in, the 2 weeks between she's there, we just let it all go to pot. But we don't have to worry about doing deep cleans anymore because she does them for us. And she does it better than we do.
She sure does.
What's something you've subtracted from your life?
I cannot stand working on cars. I'll still do very, very basic maintenance like tire rotation or changing the oil. And the main reason I do that is the same reason I cut my hair at home. It's just faster to do it. I can do it super fast at home. But anything that takes any amount of effort, I will take it somewhere to be done. Our car needed a new radiator. We had that done somewhere. Now we have mostly EVs, so hopefully we don't have any issues in the future. But yeah, working on cars sucks.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Another thing that we outsourced, bought our time back, was we ended up xeriscaping our yard. We actually have a rental house around the corner from our primary house, and they both had lots of grass. But Colorado is a desert, meaning we don't get a lot of moisture. So we're spending our precious resource, water, to let the grass grow so that we can go and spend time cutting it. So we went to our local rock store and said, could we have 150 billion tons of rocks delivered to these 2 houses? And they said, sure. And then we hired somebody else to move those rocks around. They took out the lawn, they put down the lawn fabric, they moved all the rocks with a little bobcat. I think it would have taken us weeks to do what they accomplished in, 4 days?
Yes.
So that was money well spent. I don't even care how much that cost.
It was actually 100 tons of rocks about when we all got done.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, a lot.
It was so many rocks.
Yes.
Another thing, we are sitting to quote Stacking Benjamins, we are sitting in, well, we're not in Joe's mom's basement. We're in Claire's mom's basement.
Yes.
Claire's mom's basement. I'm Claire's mom. And this did not look like this when we bought this house. This was completely unfinished. And when we decided that we wanted extra living space down here. So we you studded out the walls, right?
Yep.
You built the walls and ran plumbing and electrical, which is easy for him because his father was an electrician and shared with him a lot of the tips of being an electrician, and plumbing is very simple. When it came to hanging the drywall, we decided that that was not our jam. It's heavy. There's an art to finishing the drywall, so we found somebody to do it. He did an amazing job. What did it take him, a week?
No, it took him a month.
Oh, a month? Okay. Well, I don't care. I wasn't down here.
Yeah, who cares? It was one guy working by himself, and he did a far better job than we could, and it's miserable work.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there's an art to it. It looks beautiful. It is the finish on the drywall is the same as what's upstairs in the rest of the house, but it's not a common finish now. It was a common finish in the 70s. What's the big thing that you have subtracted from your life, sweetheart?
My job, I don't work anymore.
Yes, your job, your stress levels. I'm so glad you don't work.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful you're unemployed.
I'm glad I don't work too. The only thing that make my life better, the only thing that will make my life better is when you get that private jet for us to use. And if some of your coworkers want to be on the same flight, like if we all happen to be going to San Diego, that's okay. I don't have to have it private, just semi-private.
Just not open to the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So apparently, Carl has subtracted his sense of decency and sense of environmentalism.
I'll buy some carbon credits.
Okay, so what are some things that you can subtract from your life? And a great way to start off is thinking of tasks that you hate. Shoveling snow, yard maintenance, lawn mowing. We hired a tutor for our children because they needed help, and the tutor can do the job so much better than Carl can. I can't do it at all.
I know the math, but it helps to bring in a different entity than your parents to teach you.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're not even having fights with the kids anymore about it, so that's a win right there.
Yeah.
And if you're having a hard time wrapping your mind around spending, try one of these out. You don't have to get rid of everything, but try one. Try shoveling snow or mowing your lawn. And not everything's going to pan out. But if you hate cleaning your house, hiring a cleaner to come over and give you a deep clean is a great way to test this out. If you discover, that really wasn't worth the money, maybe that cleaner wasn't worth the money. Or maybe you don't put any value on that service that they provide. But it was a one and done. You tried it out. And if you don't like it, you don't have to continue.
I do enjoy shoveling the snow.
Great, because I don't.
Okay.
That is the all you show. I hate when you're gone when it snows because then I got to shovel ours.
Oh, I think you'll come to like it.
I think you're wrong. Once you have enough, or more than enough, your mindset around this should be that these upgrades to your life are free. You have already paid your dues by being frugal up to this point. None of the things that we've mentioned are crazy big expenses. We're not telling you to buy a private jet or some other ridiculous things. These are what Ramit likes to call $3 problems. He says, focus on the $30,000 questions, not the $3 problems. So how much does it cost to have your house cleaned? We pay $200 every time she comes, and she comes every other week. And that is something that I find a lot of value in. And the I'm going to be honest, the first time she told me it was $200, I'm like, oh, is it really worth it? And then I push through anyway, and yes, it is really worth it.
And I'm not suggesting that you buy your own private jet, but if BP did it, the BPP, Bigger Pockets plane, that would be fine.
Yeah, Scott Trench, give us a call.
I'll throw in some money for fuel.
No, you won't.
Yeah, we can have a little tip jar. I'll throw in like $10 and it'd be great.
That'll offset it.
Yeah.
So really think about the pain points in your life. What do you no longer want in your life? And what do you hate? If nothing that you're spending on is going to affect your bottom line, you should be attacking this low-hanging fruit to improve your quality of life. Like I said before, what's the point of having money if you never spend it? To quote the mad scientist, we are terrible at predicting what will make us happier, but it's obvious what makes us unhappy. So rather than pursue something that likely won't actually improve our well-being, focus instead on eliminating the things that definitely make us unhappy, and the net result will be increased happiness. I think he's pretty smart.
I think so too. Next week, we're going to talk about things we have added to our life that have made us happier. And you mentioned the bottom line. I'll just give you a quick teaser of one of the items that has increased my quality of life. And it doesn't have to do with the bottom line, but it has to do with bottoms. We added a bidet to a toilet, and it is glorious. I was a little bit hesitant, a little bit weird, not an American thing. So the bidet enhanced my bottom line. And that is just one of the many things we have added to our life that have enhanced it. So, yes, tune in next week to see what we have added to our life. And I think this might be recorded from a very unique location. So if you don't normally watch on YouTube, you might want to tune into YouTube because it's going to be awesome.
And we would love to hear what you have subtracted from your life. Please leave a comment in our Facebook group, which can be found at facebook.com/groups/MindyOnMoney.
Should we have a recording from, it's not going to be from the bathroom, but it could be from where the bidet is. No, that wouldn't be good for acoustics. We shouldn't record from the bathroom.
You're such a weirdo.
Just like this in the outtakes. Well, that's one of the items in the thing.
We're not recording from the bathroom.
Yeah, it'd be so echoey in there.
Yeah, that's the reason we're not recording from the bathroom.
I don't think we could both fit in there. It'd be weird because I made a little room for the toilet, and then you'd have to be in the shower. It'd be odd.
The end.
Where do you think we should record from? We'll put these
not
in
the bathroom.
Okay, like what's a crazy place?
The bathroom is a crazy place. We're not going to record from there.
Yeah, okay. No bathroom.
No bathroom. The car.
Yeah, the car would be bad acoustics, especially our element, which is all plastic.
The backyard.
Yeah, barking animals, not good.
Barking animals? Like there's more than one animal that barks?
Yes. Dogs, sea lions.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elephants.
I think this has run its tangent course.
It's taken a turn for the worst.
Yes.
That's why it's in the outtakes. If you're still listening now, I apologize that Mindy made me go on all these tangents. It's right here. She put it in the show notes.
Mindy made you.
Yeah, I didn't know elephants barked until you put that in the show notes. I don't think they actually do. They make like sounds like that. They like trumpet or what's the noise an elephant makes?
Trumpeting.
What does the elephant say?
The end for real.
What does the elephant say?
I said the end for real. You want to talk about layovers and how we no longer fly nonstop, if that's an option? Or we no longer edit that part all out. Do you want to talk about layers?
No.
And I signed up for Stitch Fix because I don't have time to go to the different grocery stores. Take two. God bless America.
This would be great for the blooper reel.